All right, yeah, I know. Don't know. Yeah, we get it together. All right. All right.
Well, you already know what time it is, y'all. We said 9-ish, but at the same time, what happened was Spirit Airlines told us that they was flying over and they were flying their fleet over our building, so it cut off our signal, but we back. We got to keep it real with you at the same time. Don't give a fuck about what you think. Here we go. So, I got to put it like this. If your grandma is up and your kids is up, tell them to take their punk ass to bed because we talking some real man shit right here tonight on Girth. If you're checking our podcast, this is what we do every Tuesday night at 9-ish o'clock. In case you don't know, it's 9-ish is anything after 9, so bear with us. That's how we do. Because, listen, we got a lot going on. We got some grown man shit to be going on, so we don't have time to be listening to y'all bullshit and clowning. I'm the one and only, the big homie, the one that's called Miles Dixon. You can always catch me right here on Girth.
Trying to get to this shit now.
Right to it. And the one and only big homie that's bigger than me, he go back. Wait a minute, hold on, let me give you that. I'm going to give you a proper just do. Mr. Eastside, right? Give me a round of applause, Mr. Eastside. Hold on. Mr. Pimper bitch,
$5 box.
Mr. $5 box himself.
$5, wow.
The bearded big guy, right?
That nigga's out of control.
The one and only Q.
Yo, you know what it is, man. It's your boy Q Lewis holding it down live for the 48205, man. Red Zone, baby. You know
gang. And to the gentleman that's right next to him, he taught us all how to make our come to life in our women's life.
Wow.
And beat juice don't mean we just beat it off. We really give him the juice. Okay.
Wow.
I gotta tell you the truth.
Wow.
No, he taught us how to Mrs. Tasty finish himself. Motherfucking Chef Woods in the building.
Thank you. It's been a while since I've been on air, but I'm glad to be back.
No doubt.
So we're going to cook it up tonight.
All right. You can cook it up. Okay, and to the person who got me together.
That nigga still this Billy D voice.
And to the person who got me together, put me together through all types of weather. He gave me the recipe to make it be the one and only. Hold on, let me get him. Hold on. Okay.
I'm trying to tell people we live.
Right. October 29th went down. This man was in the movie Dimes. He did his damn thing. He told this one bitch, he said, listen, you cool as long as you ain't fucking over my money. He had the same hat he got on right now.
I did have his hat on.
But he my homeboy. I ain't gonna lie. He told me when I said I really confided into him, and I said I want to get my life together. He put me on the food regimen, and ever since then I've been up since 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I don't even be tired. I ain't gonna lie. I cheated maybe 2 or 3 times, but the time I did cheat, I told him about.
Maybe 2 or 3 times.
I ain't gonna lie
He
because
said, but the time.
I ain't gonna lie
He
because
told me. I said, man, we gotta.
Gotta work on that.
Elijah Muhammad told us that we all are scientists, and sometimes you got to figure out your body, what works for you and what doesn't. And as Don told me what's going on, he put me on this regimen, and my dumb ass at 2:30 in the morning, I ate me some turkey spaghetti, and because I figured that's gonna put me to sleep because your stomach started, So Don was like, he did everything. So I said, look, punk ass. But he was like, next time you feel like that, get you some fruit or some vegetables, and you eat that. Your stomach gonna treat it the same. And I really appreciate you, Don, from the bottom of my heart. You making me feel better, making my life better. Don!
What's going on?
That's all he got right there. Yeah. what's going on? So we're gonna jump right into the topic for the day. Chef, tell us the topic.
So, so we talking about the package deal.
So we talking about that.
Don't shit, fucking
So
David
guys,
Ruffin over here and shit.
We're gonna address this, getting balance here. Dating and women, right? And with children, they're single. Now we're going to address men also because you do have custody over your children also. So we're going to give some helpful tips for that and maybe some experiences along the way that we've encountered. But see, we were talking about children under the age of 18, right?
Okay, yeah.
So after that, now we're going to talk about blending families once you get married, right? And like everything that you may have done in your household, once you blend this family, you can't bring it all. Okay. So we're going to discuss this now. I'm going to use the word cooperation, right?
Cooperation, you mean COOPERATION?
Right.
I can still drink while I'm drunk. I mean, spell while I'm drunk. Go ahead.
Dog, this nigga. You can definitely drink while you drink.
Yeah.
So this is a hot topic because at our age now, it's kind of hard to find someone that you're going to date without children. Or it may just be grandchildren.
Damn,
right?
we was talking about this earlier, weren't we?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And we still failing at this, right? Now, when I look at this topic here, I say, well, wow, see, sometimes we can overcompensate as parents once we bring someone in your circle. Ladies, sometimes you overcompensate, and we need to discuss that tonight as men. How has that affected us? You may have had a what you considered a good woman, but the package deal was just not suiting you in your life.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, can I speak on that first?
Yeah.
I would like to volunteer.
Excuse me, Jesse. No, but I would like to speak on it because I have a lot of.
But what I want to know is, when you address what you're about to address, in the end, how did you make it right? Did you make it right?
I always made it right, and that's what I was going to start off with.
Okay.
The reason why I make it right is first thing I do before I make the proper steps. I never be introduced to their kids at nighttime.
Okay.
Don't introduce me like I'm a creeper that's coming through at night.
Creeper.
I'm being honest with you because that's what I think women have that problem, and I like to be introduced into your children in the daylight so they can see me. Okay. So when they address their father, they say, "Hey, Dad," because he gonna ask. You know what I mean? When did you meet your mom or your friend? You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say, I met her. She said, "Well, it was the morning we went to church," or sometimes it was pleasant when they speak to the other half. I think that's what you have to do in order to at least start to smooth that off. Because if a man feel like you just a piece of dick to her, right? That means he feel in a sense that you only there for the pussy. But if you there and you introduce yourself, you know what I mean? And well,
No, I just got a question. So we talking about? Hold on, wait a minute. We talking about the baby daddy?
Yeah.
All right, so this the question I got on this one because I'm I don't have no kids, so I'm always on this other end, right?
Right.
And this is a conversation I have often, and I kind of want to know what other people think about this. These your kids.
Yeah.
should I be making the bigger effort to communicate with you, or should you be trying to communicate with me?
I think the communication should not even come across until that woman feel comfortable enough to introduce y'all. Because she knows that person going to ask particular questions, and you want to have your ducks in a row when that question be asked. Because when you introduce that man, when that man be introduced to you, he's going to know more about you than you know of him.
Well, I mean, in a situation where like you've been around for a minute and you crossing paths though. And, all right, so let me just say what I'm saying. Right, let me just tell the truth.
You just get to the fucking point.
I've dated women who I've ran across they baby daddies and shit, and we've come in contact, and motherfuckers act like they don't want to speak to me. Like they act like they afraid to have some kind of communication. That shit to me is weak as fuck. Because if it's my kids and I see you like my nigga, I'm about to see who you are because you around my kids.
But you can be with Q. You gotta admit you can be intimidating.
That's besides the point. These my kids. I don't give a fuck who intimidating.
No, I'm talking about. But,
like these my kids.
But I want Don to really hear me out because
my bad. I didn't cut you off.
You heard me, but you wasn't listening.
Yeah, I was on my own shit.
I want Don and Shep to hear me. So sometimes a lot of people that you meet, you're gonna meet them in their male form and not in their man form.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because they don't come at first as a protector.
Exactly.
So what I've done in my experience, I'll go ahead and engage him, right? I engage him because I know that he's coming to protect, right?
I got you.
And in most parts, since I go ahead and engage him, it allows things to be a little bit more peaceful, flow a little better, you know. And I'm not going to just tell him like I'm not here to harm or anything like that. But I just have conversation with him, and it's like, okay, well, this guy's all right. And for the most part, even if he hadn't been in the children's life, my experience is, you know, the type of dad I am, it usually has him step his game up.
I was going to say that because what happened to me, Don, hear me out. What I do, whether it be a boy or a girl, right? I always try to make sure I understand them first.
Absolutely.
Because they're going to be the first one to say, hey, Dad, mommy's friend, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He I really like him because he do this and he do that, right? And then the first thing the dad going to be like, so why do you like him? You know what I mean? And then the child going to say, because of these things. Yeah, but. And ask them questions. They were like, "Oh no, he never done that." But every time he made sure I got home from school. You know what I mean? Now the dad's like, "Okay, he at least looking at the safety of my child." You know what I mean? So first of all, another man, because Don, you have children, right? And you now have, if your daughter, if your child's mother had a significant other, you do want to make sure that motherfucker have your safety precautions of your child in the front of his mind first, correct? So when you looking at that, you had no other choice when you meet that man to say, hey bro, how you doing? And not like, what's up? It's more like, how you doing?
And I'm just saying that there are a lot of niggas that don't take that approach. It's some weak ass baby daddies out here. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but with that being said,
and I'm not that intimidating.
9 out of 10, you could be a very intimidating for a weak man. I mean, not for a weak person, but for a person. I mean, you drive a big ass truck. You know, you're a big ass dude. You had a big ass beard. No, but
just trying to say niggas is pussy out here. Like shit, I don't understand. Like what you saying?
Yeah. So I mean, but what the truth is, 9 times out of 10, that father has more respect over somebody who's protecting their child and have the safety and the mentality of their child before a nigga who just laying up with their mama.
So that's
Don,
no, I just said I feel you.
What you think, Don? No, don't just shake your head, motherfucker.
He over here calculating. You know nigga calculating this shit.
No, I'm just.
Oh, by the way, happy birthday, motherfucker!
I appreciate it.
October 29th.
I'm just 30th, October 30th.
October 30th.
Get it right, nigga.
Get it right.
I'm listening to this, and I think for me, definitely in those type of situations, you know, my child is the priority. Period. I think something that a lot of people don't talk about. You know, I know we have this rule, you know, hey, what goes on in this house stays in the house, but there's an exception to that rule when you're in a 2-parent household.
Right.
And I'll just use myself as an example. You know, I have girls, so my only expectation was, you know, hey, you know, as long as my daughter is safe, you know, I'll be in a good, positive, upbeat. You know, I'll bring that kind of energy to the situation. But I think for me, it was always just about, you know, having solid communication with my daughter. Mm-hmm. You know, I'll never forget, there was a time where her mother wasn't too keen on me, you know, knowing what was going on in her love life, and I'm fine with that.
Right, I'm fine with that.
With the exception of, I have a rule, and this just for all parents out there. I don't think men or women should tell their children to keep secrets from the other parent.
Ooh.
Oh no, definitely not.
All right? And I'm just big on that because
that's even if y'all together, you shouldn't be doing that shit.
Period.
Yeah, I agree.
And the reason why I said this is because you know, there was a time where she was dating somebody, and she's not one of my children. She's not dating them anymore, and at the time, you know, she wanted to kind of be private about it. But again, you know, she was looking at it one way. My POV about it was, hey, listen, if anything ever happens, I don't want my baby quiet about it. You get what I'm saying? And I always tell my children, hey, listen, until I get married, you have, well, and even then, but as of right now, you have 24-hour access to me, period. Mm-hmm. I don't care what's going on in your life. And I've always stressed that to my girls. And I say that because that's important to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them keeping secrets from me.
Right.
And it's not even about them telling me what mama doing as opposed to how do you feel about things.
Yeah, what's your relationship? Yeah.
Do you feel safe? Is anything going on where maybe, you know, you feel a little scared, or maybe, you know, because here's the deal. I think a lot of times, and especially for women don't really understand that sometimes they can try to hide things from kids, but children pick up energy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You understand what I'm saying? So if you're sad, if you're angry about something, sometimes you don't even have to tell a child, hey, look, I'm on the phone with your daddy. They can just pick up the energy. Yeah, she talking to this motherfucker.
And they be saying shit like, you talking to my daddy?
Yeah.
I mean, because my daughter was one of the ones. She was like, that's my daddy. Let me talk to him. Because she sensed that her mother was about to try to go in.
Yeah, some bullshit.
Yeah.
So I think for me, you know, yes, we're talking about, you know, the mono to a mono thing, but I guess for me, when I was thinking about this, I you know, again, the most important part for me, hey, because if I ain't with you no more, I ain't with you. I honestly don't give a fuck what you do.
Right.
Again, with the exception of
how it
my
affects
child over there.
Yeah.
So really, at that standpoint, it's to me, my whole focus is, are you safe? You know, are you in an environment where you're able to thrive and feel like you're able to be successful? You know, are you getting up, mama getting you to school or whatever? Or is she hanging out with Scooby fucking Doo and she waking up in the morning, I ain't taking you to school, all that. If it gets to that kind of shit, I always suggest to fathers, step your ass up and go get your kid. Yeah. It's just that simple. I ain't getting on the phone calling, you better do all this and that.
Just go get that.
Yeah. Because again, I think a lot of women, they underestimate us as men. You know what I'm saying?
Like we can't do it.
Like, we can't do that kind of shit. I've always been that kind of type. Like, listen, I don't want to argue too much about it.
Let me just come get her.
Yeah, let me come get my kid. And again, shout out to my kids' mothers. I'm so thankful. We have a wonderful relationship. I want to put that out there. We have a wonderful relationship. We've had some ups and downs when we were younger, but again, I just charge it to the game because a lot of us
inexperienced.
Not only were we inexperienced, but we just don't know no fucking better.
Speaking of proud parents, Q Lewis, he's a proud godfather today.
Hey, shout out to my guy, TJ, man. Shout out to the Southfield Falcons, man. They went undefeated this year. You got a fucking ring and shit, bigger than any ring I ever got playing football and shit. I'm a little jealous, but it's cool. Shout out to my dog.
And I know two people that's actually coaches on the Southfield Falcons. So that's even dope.
Yeah, shout out to the squad. Shout out to my man Monk Money. That's his son and shit.
Monk Money.
For sure.
But Don, you are absolutely correct. I told my, cause in case anybody don't know, I have a 22-year-old daughter now, and a 9-year-old daughter, and both of them incredible. The 22-year-old, me and her don't have a relationship, right? But my 9-year-old is fucking phenomenal. She told me, she said, me and her was talking. She's like, my mama told me not to tell you, but I told her, okay, but you're my daddy, so I have to tell you.
I love that.
Right. So it made me feel.
Your daughter is an adult.
Yeah, right. She been in this motherfucker
She's
before.
an adult, bro.
She said, but I have to tell you because I don't. You told me not to lie to you, right? So even right now, at this point in time of her life, I caught her. I said, "Did you wash your face?" I said, "Don't lie to me." She said, "Okay, no." So I'm gonna go in here right now, but don't whip me. So I'm not gonna whip you. So she went and washed her face. She said, "Daddy, I'm not gonna lie. When you tell me don't lie, it make me feel like you don't trust me, and I want you to trust me, so I tell you the truth." So it made me understand, like she understand what I'm saying. But what Don was saying, when you have different, when you parenting through different people, and unfortunately, co-parenting, and you co-parenting in the multitudes, in the sense of you may have two or three different,
yeah. Gotcha.
Because unfortunately, this world do not teach us to be, like they say we should be. We be like, fuck that, because every time we get with somebody, sometimes it's not a good fit for us.
Yeah.
No,
just keep it moving.
And the sad part is we don't choose the people who we have really children by, because we don't be feeling that shit in the beginning. I'm being honest with you, because I'm not speaking for Don, nor am I speaking for Chef or speaking for
Joe.
He don't even handle kids.
I was trying to know you speaking of people.
But
at least now I know of shit. Don't be hitting my inbox talking about this nigga 17.
Yeah, but no. But at the same time, we have to really be truthful with it. We have to hope. We have to be accountable, right? So Don, Chef, I learned how to use my vowels.
Here you go, these vowels.
No, I love that.
And learn how to use
I
my
like
vowels.
that shit, though.
A, to be accountable.
Absolutely.
E, to work with excellence. I, to uphold all the integrity that's possible for you, because that's what it has to be. O is to create opportunities for other people. You know what I mean? U is to unify everybody within your reach to create your resources. And Y is because it's fucking yours.
I like that shit. She said that shit this morning. I was like,
right.
I'm going to steal that shit, though.
Yeah.
So a couple of things were said here. So, and then you talked, I'm going to touch base on this. This platform is mainly for men and women. You get your nuggets off of it also. So, guys, one thing I did want to add, and Don kind of touched base on this. When you start dating, your parenting time, put that first. And I understand that, and also well, and a couple of women in my life have not understood that when it's your parenting time and you got your kids for the weekend, if you're not married, just tell that woman, I'll see you on Sunday, okay? And so if you're picking your kids up on Friday, that's their time. They're looking forward to being with their father.
Very true.
And then some guys have parenting rights over their children, and it's vice versa, right? So women, man, put your parenting time before your dating time, right?
I guess I got a question about that, though. Like I said again, like I don't have kids, so this is a question for all of y'all. In that situation, when do you know is the time to include that person you're dating in that parenting
That's
time?
why I was going to go. Yeah. So what happens is, to me, initially, when you meet someone, and you're going to probably be dating them for a few months before you introduce them to your children, because you're trying to see where their values are at, their morals are at.
Trying to see who they are once the mask come off.
Once the mask come off.
I said, you said a few months. I said at least a half a year.
No, I said before you before you even introduce them.
Yeah,
and what I mean by that, introduce is before, not physically, but before they start hearing her name or his name in the household, right?
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Gotcha.
But nowadays I would probably give it about a year.
Yeah,
I
wouldn't say a year.
Don't say a year.
Yeah, because people different.
I'm getting about 5 years.
I say half a year.
So as far as just to answer your question, to include them in on parenting time, like activities wise.
Yeah, that type of shit.
Okay, wow.
Because
I
that's
think
deep.
See, that's going to be based on how you feel like the relationship is progressing.
Yeah.
You know, and they may have children also that you want to bring. They may want to bring their children also.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's going to vary based on how the relationship is progressing. But what I want to go back to is, and this happened to me when I was younger. So I love talking about this stuff because it's, it's personal, and I know someone can relate to this.
Right.
I remember times where it was my dad's parenting time, right? And he picked me up on a Friday, right? Mm-hmm. And he dropped me at one of his friends' house and came back on Sunday, right?
Right.
So, and I talked to some young ladies about that too. So, some of the guys get a little busy, and that's why I'm saying, gentlemen, take your time off of your parenting time.
Yeah.
Don't dump it on your girlfriend.
Or your mama. Or your mama.
Yeah, because that too. Because you feel like, they're the good parent, they have been a good parent. No, your children are looking forward to spending time with you.
Yeah. Right. And before you go deeper into that, I do want to acknowledge the people that are watching. A shout out to Richard Heath, who got Balling with Rich right there on podcast on Sundays. And shout out to my man W.J. Brooks. He said, "What's good, fellas? Them older daughters be a handful because they seen your growth. The younger ones see the end result, and that's true."
No, that's your nephew.
No, that's W.J. Brooks.
Yeah, he said that's my Uncle Fred.
Yeah, that's my nephew.
Really? It's funny. He got a show on podcast.
Yes.
Wow.
You didn't know he's related.
He do herbal tea podcast on Sundays at 7:15 every Sunday. Shout out to Carmen
and we gotta get together.
Shawnee White, all the way from Boston. Hey, yo, I'm telling you, she in that B, yeah.
Is that how Boston people talk?
Yeah, no, the Boston people talk like, hey, yo, listen.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like,
they got that Jersey, Boston Jersey, all that. Yeah,
that's it.
Shawnee White has been checking us out. I think she really familiar with Rocky at Rocky Rose Productions.
Gotcha.
Shout out to BMF Podcasting Mafia Family. Podcast Mafia Family. I'm sorry.
And you know something, Miles? I was just like at this time, even if it's my nephew, I want to hear from a caller. Someone call in with an experience.
313 855 5737 313-855-5737. Give us a call. As Uncle Fred said.
Yeah, because I want to hear basically how you dealt with the package deal. It may have been yours or it may have been someone else's. Mm-hmm. And whether or not it was successful or not, what did you learn from it?
Yo.
And, what did you learn from that package deal? And right now, and it's kind of hard because it seems like everyone has children. Are you...
I'm not gonna lie.
A little pull back from approaching a woman with children, or is it a limit on the amount of children? See, because a package deal could be like 5 children.
No, so fuck that. I'm sorry.
No, seriously.
I'm sorry.
What is your limit on your package deal?
Well, the reason I said it's the limit, the five children, right, without my seed being included, that's kind of too much. Especially it depends on how many fathers they have.
Let me ask a question. That's a real question.
You've been over there contemplating for a minute.
He always
the wheels be spinning, bro.
This is a real question, right? Well, first of all, I want to say this. I love children.
Yeah,
all right. I put that shit out there. And
a black man who say he loves children.
Turn off for me is, piggyback off what you said, Chef. If I'm with, in the past when I've dated women that, had children, if I saw an inclination of I'm going to put you over, my baby need my time, my energy, and my attention right now, fuck you, I'm out of there. I'm out. I don't play that. Yeah. I don't care how good the pussy is, excuse my language. I don't care how good our chemistry. I do not play that.
Because you see what type of person.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm not, because my deal is, you know, to me, you know, my children, they're at the core of my being. You know what I'm saying?
True
Everything that I do, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have them in mind. So, you know, unfortunately for some, you know, and no judgment on others, I need to put it this way. It's a wonderful thing when we understand that the women we pick are a reflection of who we think we are inside.
Ooh, good one.
Say that shit one more time.
So here's the deal, right?
Right.
I can never date a woman that act like that because I know how I am with my own.
Right.
So if I leave the crib, go to the store, A, B, and C, and you not really treating them how I'm coming, fuck you around my kids for. I can't even. Absolutely. I don't tolerate that.
Right.
Yeah.
But question. Sorry.
Because
If you had an unlimited amount of money, and you were dating a woman with 5 kids, and she completely was your compliment as a woman, would this conversation be different? All right, because truth be told, right? Sometimes as men do we stay away from some of these women because just the fact of the matter is
can't afford it.
I ain't trying to pay for all you motherfuckers.
Well,
I like to eat out a lot. Any woman, man, child that know me, we all going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but,
and I don't eat McDonald's.
But I would say,
would you? That's my question.
I would say this, Don.
Yeah.
It's not even about the money. It's about the different personalities.
Yes.
I have to, if they got 5 kids, 4 baby daddies, that's 9 people, right? I mean,
it's funny, but I feel what you're saying.
Because I got to deal with the 4 grown men personalities, right?
And that's what we was talking about this morning.
And I got to deal with the 5 kids. And I got to deal with her, so I'm dealing with 10 different personalities, and not to mention my fucked up personality, right? So that's 11. That's a bit too much. And here's why: because money cannot handle this problem. Yeah. The problem is when things become intertwined. You have that father who's aggressive, right? Then you have that father that don't like the other father, right? Because they was beefing, because they used to be boys, or maybe they come from different neighborhoods, right? All that shit. So all of it become a situation.
She got 5 and it's from 1. And she divorced.
Wait a minute, that's a different story.
That's an ample situation.
That's
situation comes
she got 5 from 1. She divorced, and she feeling you, and she your one.
That'll be my bitch. You know why? And I'm gonna tell you why. And I say bitch in a good way. Because at least she learned one thing. 2 things. She know what she want and she know what she don't want. And here's why. Because those 2 people was beginning to raise them children, right?
Yeah.
It's just like a farmer when he's taking over a crop. Somebody bought a farm. You know what I mean? You just got to till it for the following season, right? That means you have to put your touch on how you're going to grow it. So, I mean, it's there, and the children have to adapt. And children will adapt to whatever plan you put in plan.
So I guess we can narrow this down to, if you got 4 baby daddies, that might be a little too much personality popping off. It ain't about the money. It's about how many different motherfuckers I got to deal with in my life in order to deal with you.
Yes.
All right.
It's definitely a thing. It's definitely a thing. And I guess, like, my perspective, like, first of all, let me just say this. The shit crazy because my perspective is changing now. Having this conversation with a bunch of motherfucking fathers, right? Because this is the conversation that I always have, not having kids and shit, right? So like, I'm looking at shit different. Like, I'm looking at shit different now because of what Don said about the interest being in the kids. I'm backtracking and shit, then I'm coming back. But because I always felt like as a dude and shit, if I had a kid, I would make it my business to meet this new dude, like if he around like that, like I would make it my business. But then I see now that you looking at it a different way. You looking at like, as long as my kids say everything cool and shit, then I'm gonna get around to we go get this shit together. Yeah. But that's not my initial approach. Right. So I'm looking at that different now. So like some of these niggas who I thought was suck ass baby days and shit, I apologize. All right. So
I want to say this, and we all know this. Mm-hmm. The bottom line is this. I can't control no other man's household. And I can't control her household.
Neither.
At the moment that we have decided that the shit not working, I gotta respect it. Whatever the fuck pop off.
Yeah, throw your
And
hands up.
sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of men and women. Women be trying to, I don't want you to see your baby because you dating such and such. Fuck out of here.
Oh, I definitely.
This is my
I definitely
household.
would
It's not
definitely say that.
yours. And a lot of people, they have a hard time swallowing that pill. But guess what? That shit life.
Yeah.
And I would say this. So my daughter's mother didn't allow my daughter to stay with me till almost 6 months after she was born. I mean, like stay the night. Right?
Yeah.
Because she had lost her child when the baby was 4 months before her first time she ever had a child.
So you understand that?
I understood.
That makes sense.
And respected
Yeah.
her pain and her struggle that she went through.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, when you got a real reason like that,
Right.
I get it.
But when she seen the care that my village had on raising my daughter, shout out to Nate and Melissa. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Them two motherfuckers know how to raise some kids. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. Nate is a sergeant and Melissa is a lieutenant or whatever, but she know how to be a general. But I would tell you one thing: they really know how to communicate with their kids.
Yeah.
I never seen two adults communicate with their children better than Nate and Melissa Talbot. And I have learned a whole lot on how to communicate with my daughter through
From
them.
them.
Because
That's dope.
Because in learning and dealing with a daughter, I had, and mind you, I have raised about 27 kids, literally like 27.
Wow.
And the thing is,
a lot of kids.
There's a lot of goddamn kids. But I've been with a lot of women in my life that had kids
that had
already.
kids,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Factual,
The
me too.
majority is hard
All of
for a black man will hardly ever. It's more likely a woman gonna meet a man that don't have kids versus a man gonna meet a woman with no kids.
For sure.
Especially
For sure.
if you're over 25, 30 years old.
Shit, at this point, over 20.
Yeah. But so I have learned that you have to be patient through everything.
Yeah.
If a person has a significant other, a past significant other, you have to respect their boundaries until both of them is ready to reveal them to you.
Yeah,
you know
like
what I mean?
what's what.
Yeah, you can't take that shit personal.
You
When
can't
she
take
don't
it.
want to bring you in that child life, yeah.
You can't take that.
I realize that.
Now, see, that's just to piggyback on that shit real quick. My cousin just popped in. Portia, shout out to Portia and shit. And all the nurses.
McIntosh, I like her already.
All the nurses out here.
Portia.
Now, Portia is my cousin through marriage, right? So we family now. You know what I'm saying?
Shout
so
out to your
she
family.
talking about my actual cousin when she said this. She said, I waited so long to introduce my now husband to my son that he told me that he was gonna break up with me if he wasn't good enough to meet him. Now,
Oh,
that's the
God
thing.
damn it.
So what about that? So I know Chef said that he want to put this time limit on it. So what about when the partner feels kind of like, damn, you don't trust me or you're not feeling me enough to introduce me to your kid? Like, does it get to a point where you like, damn, maybe it's too long, and then you start getting kind of offended? Like, damn, like, can I see the kid?
No, I've had that experience, and I just at that point, and I don't know who would agree with me. I just didn't know enough about the person and how they handle particular situations. I didn't know about their parenting skills, how they felt about it.
Yeah.
We hadn't crossed that road yet,
I
so I'm
agree.
like, it's just not time,
It ain't time.
to bring you around my children right at this point, right? So.
Wait, hold on.
So hold on. Before we go any further, I ain't gonna lie. I gotta give a shout out to our engineer, motherfucker Joe. Joe is doing his motherfucking thing. And Joe, we really appreciate you taking time out with us and being patient with us enough to do what you're doing.
For sure.
And Don, you about to say something?
I was getting ready to say, yes, that is one perspective.
Yeah.
I already know you got another one.
Let me bring the other one into play.
Here it is.
Here you go. Here you go.
Right.
A lot of times, motherfuckers still be dipping in the Kool-Aid. Listen. Motherfuckers be not together and together all at the same goddamn time. It be a ball of fucking mess.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
All right. When I was younger, there was a point where me and my children mother, we weren't together, but
You was still
we
fucking.
Yeah, we were still fucking flat out. And there were times where that shit, it got in the way of both of us moving on.
Moving on, yeah.
All right, and the shit didn't do nothing but get messy.
Yeah.
And sometimes when men and women get to waiting too long, that's because they don't want little Ray or little Shay to go back and be like, hey, Mr. Don was over this weekend. Who?
Right, who the
Because I
fuck?
know last week when I dropped you off, me and her was fucking. So
Right.
what you mean, Mr. Don? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's enough. I'm just giving another perspective. You know what I'm saying?
From that perspective, I think most people are afraid to speak on, right? I think most men and women is afraid to say, like me, right? I didn't even care if my significant other at the time was fucking her ex, right? Because I have learned when my daughter, now is 21, I was going with someone, right? She heard the conversation that my daughter mother said. My daughter mother called me like, Aaron wanted to know, can she want to wake up to her daddy, right? My girl literally said, okay, babe, we'll pack your bag, right? She packed my bag for me. She said, here's these condoms. I know you cannot control what goes on, but I want you to be safe no matter what. She took me over to this woman's house.
Wow.
No, listen.
I'm intrigued like a motherfucker.
Me too.
No, listen. She literally took me over. She literally took me over to my daughter's house, right? My daughter's mama's house, right? Said, if you decide to have sex with her, at least wear a condom, okay? Because she said, I cannot go through this with you, what you going through again, knowing that you had unprotected sex with a woman who is trying to trap you.
Yeah.
Right? So she literally took me over, and then she never asked me, come on in. Oh, you don't got the key? You don't got the key? All right, Joe, can you set us aside and you go grab him? I had to commend her on her attribution of helping me with my daughter.
So
That's some real
this
shit.
was who again in your life?
This is my girlfriend at that time.
Your girlfriend.
She didn't have no children, but she knew the love that I had for my daughter.
Damn.
So she was like, go ahead, let your daughter see you in the morning, but motherfucker, I'm picking you up at 11 o'clock.
Okay, I got you.
You feel
In
me?
case you get that pussy, here go these rubbers.
She said,
Wow.
here's these condoms, right? Because sometimes people got to understand that everyone who's for you is for you. I mean, everyone who's for you is not for you, but those who are, you have to respect that, right? And I did when I had sex with my daughter's mother. That one time I did let her know. She said, but there's 3 condoms still in your bag. I said, honestly, I used the condoms she gave me because she wanted to give me head, and she don't like the taste of the spermicide on the Trojan. So we did use protection, and she said, did you make sure it was safe? Meaning, did I wrap the condom up after I busted through it in the garbage?
For real, you gotta get rid of that motherfucker for real.
But she was more willing to understand that she loved me. She loved me enough to know that I love my daughter more.
She loved the shit out your ass.
No, but don't get me wrong. Any woman,
Yeah, I would have got killed.
No, but
K-I-L-T.
but Don, I will explain why. Because Don, when you go into a situation, you can be nurturing to. When you nurturing to a woman, and because I'm guilty of it too, but I learned how to be nurturing to a woman at protocol. You know what I mean? It depends how I met that person. You know what I mean? Because when you be a nurturing, when a man be nurturing to a woman, they feel a whole different way versus when you be straight up like we. A lot of times, Don, me, you, Fred. I don't know about you too much like that, but because I don't hear what you're saying about nurturing to a woman, meaning catering. A lot of times we cater to a woman to enough to where they feel dependent of our feelings or our care or our love,
Regardless of what's going on.
right?
Damn.
So we
So that shit is
one-on-one.
wild. Let me say something too.
What?
That's actually a lot of times where I made mistakes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because
Give that to the wrong
I'm gonna
person.
say yes. I'm gonna say this
That's
much.
the wrong person, yes.
I'll be the first to admit. Yeah, I used to be fucking up,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna take just for that reason what you just said. And I mean, share a quick funny story. My girlfriend and I on fucking Valentine's Day some years ago, my girlfriend at the time. We get into
Stop,
this
nigga,
huge-
stop. Hold on.
Yeah.
My oldest daughter was conceived on Valentine's motherfucking day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, thanks for sharing that with us.
I'm being
So on Valentine's Day, me and my girl at the time, we get into this argument. Now, at the time, you know, I will admit, when I was younger, I was on, I'm going to call it my Libra shit, because Libras like to keep a lot of balance, and sometimes they be fucking up. But anyway,
But you're not a fucking Libra.
yeah, I'm not. I'm just saying. I was a Libra shit. Yeah, you're right. Just listen.
I read about this the other day. Like, what you talking
So I was always trying to keep everybody happy. I didn't want nobody to be upset
You
with
trying
me.
to keep balance.
Okay, yeah. So we get into this argument, and my kid's mother called me, and it's Valentine's Day, and she's like, "Listen, I need to talk to you. Let's just meet, go have a little drink." Now listen, it's fucking Valentine's Day, right?
And you weren't even thinking about it was Valentine's Day.
No, you know what Don was thinking? I just want to keep the peace and see what she talking about, blah, blah, blah. Tell you what the fuck happened.
Pop goes the weasel and the weasel go
I
pop.
drive over to her fucking apartment. I get in the car. Why the fuck do my girl at the time ride past and see me pulling out the apartment complex with my kid's mother? So she blow the horn, and I look over and I say, "Hey, listen, can you just pull up real quick?" She looked at me and said, "No, fuck that. We
you.
about to go talk."
Damn.
And kept driving. So listen, so now I got this big fucking ball of mess. All right. When at the end of the day, I shouldn't have had my monkey ass over. I could have said, you know what? Tonight not a good night to go have this
tomorrow.
fucking
Yeah,
drink
yeah,
with
talk
you.
tomorrow.
Let me go do this tomorrow.
Yeah.
I say all this to say this. When you're young, you do stupid ass shit, and sometimes you don't take other people's feelings into consideration. And that was a selfish decision that I made at that moment, because even though Don was just thinking,
goddamn it, you a
well, damn,
man for admitting that shit.
I ain't about to go fuck. I ain't about to go do nothing. I'm just about to go talk and have a drink with her.
Yeah, but you know how it look.
But here's the deal: image is perception.
Hell yeah, you know how it look.
Image is perception. So my dumb ass sitting in the car, and she can't hear me saying, "Pull over." All she sees is these motherfuckers riding down the road. They about to ride off in the wind. You know what I'm saying? It was
To wherever they going.
fucked up night. And I will admit, I had to learn as I got older. Hey, listen. As men who go into these package deal situations, regardless of what side you on, we have to learn as men to create and respect boundaries.
Yeah.
All right? And listen, when I said create first for a reason,
Right.
we gotta fucking create boundaries.
Yeah.
We gotta be able to tell this person, hey, listen, and sometimes even for our kids' mothers, hey, listen, if you're around me and this other person, I'm gonna need you to be respectful. I ain't going for the okie doke.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm not gonna be calling you at certain times of motherfucking night
Right.
just because we got a kid with each other.
Right.
It's 2, 3 in the morning.
Unless it's
fuck
a
you
fucking-
calling me
unless
for.
it's
Yeah,
a
unless it's an
emergency, like
emergency.
nigga dying,
There are things
right?
that need to be said and protocol we need to follow as men, because the mistake that I made was always catering to this shit.
Yeah.
And it made the other person feel like I wasn't
Insecure.
fully invested in them. Absolutely.
Bro, that's
and I
why-
brought that shit out, and I fucked up.
That's gonna always happen when you try to appease everybody. Like
Absolutely.
I learned that shit the hard way. You cannot please everybody. Like you try to do that shit, and this is kids or no kids, especially when you're dealing with women. It's just like you can't.
Well,
Everybody not gonna be happy.
I'm gonna tell you what I seen with my very own eyes. My boy was in a situation similar to yours, similar to what we talking about. He came in with his girlfriend.
Okay,
He had 3 children by someone else, right?
gotcha.
He set everybody down. He said, I ain't gonna say the names, they know who they are, but hey Jay, who is she? He said, that's your friend, that's your girlfriend. Then he asked his daughter, who is she to you? She says, that's your girlfriend, right? And the other daughter said, that's your friend, right? He said, so y'all know, this is my girlfriend, right? This is your mother. When you with us, you listen to her.
Yeah.
When you with your mother, you listen to her.
Right.
But you treat your mother with the same respect that you treat me with.
Absolutely.
I learned that from him, and I tell my daughter the very same.
Because kids will try to play you against each other.
for sure.
My daughter, we was out one time because I used to go on a date with my daughter every Sunday, and of course I bring her mother just so her mother can see how we communicate and hear how we talk. Right? I seen her treating her mother a particular way. She's like, "Huh? Yeah." No.
All that. Yeah. All that
sass.
I said, Naveen.
That sass get your ass tapped on.
And she know that with me. I said, Naveen, did you do the? She said, yes. Okay. She said, no. Yes. No. Her mother said, wait, why you talk to your daddy like that? She said, that's my daddy, I supposed to. That's her exact words from her when she was 5, 6 years old. Yeah. Because I said, now Naveen, what did I always tell you? How you treat your mother the same way I treat you, right?
Right. And there you go. You need to do
but
that
she
shit.
she said, Daddy, can I tell the truth? I said, of course, always. The reason I don't, because she don't talk to me like you talk to me.
Oh wow. So you know what I wanted to add to that, because
A lot of mothers is guilty of that.
Yeah,
especially with their daughters.
Yeah, I was listening to Don. I'm listening to you guys. So I want to address one thing, and boundaries are very important. And I don't know if you guys have dealt with this, but I have. I've never really had a problem with the fathers, right? Mm-hmm. But what I had a problem was bringing a woman into my life and her not understanding the relationship I had with my children, right? Mm. So then now that I think about it, she didn't have a relationship with her father. And then
so she don't recognize.
Yep. So then the father of her children didn't have a relationship with them. Now the only reason why he probably came in the picture is because I came in the picture, right? So that right there, you got it right. Mm-hmm. So now I'm dealing with a woman that has not experienced, had a relationship with her father, or had a chance to see her children's father have a relationship with them. So then she could not understand the relationship I had with my children. That's the problem. I don't know if other guys have dealt with this, to understand the love I have for my daughter or what my son could never understand. So it was always a problem when it was my parenting time, right? And it was, when I say pretty much with everybody I dealt with, it was always a problem at that point.
That's the Pinocchio effect.
Yep. That right there.
The reason I say it's the Pinocchio effect, because Pinocchio was always able to listen to the person who he felt gave him life, right? And when you with children, and the opposite person that's on the other side looking in, right? He or she feels as if they don't get the same respect that you get, but they don't understand and see the investment time and the placement that you put within those children, even if those children are their very own.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because just because they spend more time, or quote unquote, let me say this: my daughter lives with her mother majority of the time of her life, but the time is not put there. There was a test taken maybe about 11 years ago saying that the average parent
I know exactly what
may have spent 8 minutes worth of quality time in 1 week with their child, because the average parent pick up their children from the school, the ones who's the quality, right? Pick up their child, right, from school. It's 3:30, right? 3:30 they come in, they say, do your homework, walk away, right?
No time. No quality time.
No quality time, right? Then they say, okay, time to eat. And it's time to eat, right?
Right.
You can't eat and talk at the dinner table, right? Right. Then they say, how you feeling? I'm okay. You ready? Go take a bath. Right? So all within that time, and conversation and communication was less than 1 minute.
Yeah, no, that's true.
That's
really true.
Listen, Chef,
So,
I had
let me add this though.
Go ahead,
real quick. So
real.
I just want to add this and then but thank you, Miles, because that made a lot of sense. So in these times, what I had to do, I had to take out time to something that should have been done by the parents. I had to do with the person I was with. So then I felt myself explaining, and which I did not have to, my relationship with my daughter. And right. So it was kind of like me being a therapist for the person I was with, saying, no, this is normal. This is natural. right? Because they did not experience it.
Because the woman was too busy being angry.
Right. So I've heard things like, you treat her like the wife. No, I'm treating her like the daughter. I'm giving her what she should have. And an example from when she will start dating, right? So, ladies, gentlemen, whatever side you may be on with this whole thing, realize what you have a lack in, right? And it is part of the package deal, right?
And that's kind of sad. I'm gonna tell you why. Because sometimes when you're with a woman, you have a daughter, right? And you give your daughter breadcrumbs to come back to who they need to be, right? A woman like, you ain't give me them breadcrumbs. Well, bitch, you grown. Okay, so let's go from there, right? Let's take it from there. Like, you're a full grown ass woman. My daughter's 11, 12, 13, 14 years old. She need to know how to come back home and be able to ask her daddy or talk to her father any given time. Because yours wasn't there. You want me to be your daddy. I cannot be your daddy. I'm the person who provide dick, protection, and financial situations.
Hell of an order.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Hell of an order.
No, you're absolutely right.
First you have to dump dick in her in order for her to be your girl.
And it could be vice versa. So this whole show is about the package deal.
Look at this nigga come in looking like Wolverine.
Oh shit! What up, though?
Furrow.
No, looking like dog off of fucking what's the other shit?
Insane Clown Posse. That's his nigga right
Wow, this nigga said insane clown. What up, though?
Selling drugs all night.
Hey, I said everybody.
No, I like that, Darren. That's kind of nice.
That bitch hard low key while you talking shit. That bitch hard.
Was that a nanny goat?
No, nigga, Nine Tail. You don't know nothing about that mythical creature.
Mythical, nigga. Mythical creature.
That's from Marvel comic books.
So
And okay, that bitch hard, though. I ain't gonna hold you.
I want to get away from what you were saying.
What happened to that?
But I did want to get back to that because, this whole platform is about sharing personal experiences. That it may be only like 3 or 4 that can connect to it. But so in the end, how I had to deal with that particular situation was I did have to take out time to explain to that person, right? And it was almost, I don't know if they received it, but it would have been healing for them to understand this is a natural process, right? So that is part of what the title of the show about, the package deal. So this is everything that we deal with. So you have to take out time and realize in a mature state of mind, listen to that person and say, okay, and recognize that their father was in there and then the father of their children wasn't there. Okay, so I'm at the break. I'm at to slow this thing down so they can hopefully better respect and understand what I'm coming with
your daughter.
With my package deal.
Exactly.
That because now we get to the second part of this. I wanted to talk about blending families.
Before you get to that, I got a question on that. When you said about that, once you get to that realization of what she's dealing with and why she don't really respect or understand your relationship with your daughter, once you figure that out, how do you determine whether this is worth continuing on? Because like you see what she's dealing with, like, damn, when do you figure out, do I even want to fucking deal with this?
See, in my particular situation, I was already married when I realized this. So I didn't have that.
Got you.
Yeah, I realized this once I was married. So what I had to do, I had to nurture both. And sad to say, when I looked at the whole situation, I realized that where she was at when this happened to her, age-wise. So I had to nurture and talk to her I'm just going to say as a 14-year-old. I'm sorry. And this was a grown woman.
How old was she, though?
Over 40. So I had to nurture her at that level. So they say most people trauma, they leave off where if they get upset at something, they start acting like a kid. That's where the trauma occurred at. So if they start acting at 4
like that age.
Right.
Are you saying, Chef, that so pretty much you're in a relationship with someone?
I'm in a marriage at that
you're in
time.
a marriage.
Oh shit! I ain't even
My
think
question,
it was going there.
my question is: are you saying that she flipped the script on you in terms of the care of your child? And because I say this right, for me, my children have been they are the deal breaker for any woman that I've dated. Like, I've had conversations with people, and I always kind of I say it in a joking way. You know, if I'm dating a woman, I say, hey, listen, I'm sensitive about my kids.
Right.
Yeah.
But you mean that shit though. You joking, but you mean that
I'm
shit.
joking. That mean that you, your brother or a friend can get their ass kicked about getting out of line with my kid. Like I just don't play no fucking games when it comes to my girls. Like period.
For the most part, that means if I bring up my child, I'm just bringing it up for you to listen. Bitch, don't comment on what the fuck I'm talking about because I'm just venting right now.
Well, I think it's more so. I wouldn't say that. Miles. Yeah, I wouldn't say that because I think some people just because Q don't have kids, I think sometimes we can receive some valuable input. But I just will say this: it has always been important for me to stress that to anybody that I've ever dated. Like, listen, they mean the world to me. They priority. All right,
Absolutely.
and if you come into this situation with me,
Understand.
all right, you gonna have to know that again, their care, everything that got to do with them, is of my utmost, priority.
Absolutely.
Period. Like there just aren't any exceptions. There aren't any exceptions to that. Meaning, if it's the weekend where I'm not with them, and I get a phone call and they got something going on,
That's who I'm with.
we gonna make this happen. You get what I'm saying? Now,
But also that has a lot to do with the woman that you're with. So, first of all, we have to pick the type of woman that's willing to do that. Because if we not, then we're gonna lose a whole lot. I will say that we got people on the line who really tripping out. They're like, I'm not gonna lie. So, it's the sixth person who sat down with us. The first was Calvin, man. Now I'm not gonna lie. The gentleman who we gonna look at right now, he's a producer, he's a director, he's a filmmaker. He the one who told Don, said, "Don't fuck with my money." And he brought my man Will Smith to the TV screen as Mr. Smack a Bitch. If you for real,
What was the name of the mythical animal again?
Will Bennett. He calls him
Will Bennett. Yeah, Will Smith. Right,
Will Bennett Smack a Bitch all in it. That's what his nickname for me. Because that bitch,
I didn't know the name of the mythical animal again though. What was it?
Oh, Nine Tails.
Nine Tails.
Yeah, Nine Tails.
I got it.
That shit sound like an NFT.
Yeah, that's like dragon scale.
Gotcha. This brother that had Will Smith smack a bitch into
Will Bennett. Why you keep saying Will Smith?
Oh, Will Bennett. Cause I've been drinking, nigga. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
obviously.
He done got.
didn't say Will Smith.
I did twice. He done got Will Bennett to smack a bitch into some Better Made chips.
He did. He was fucking them chips up, man.
Hey, look. He go by the name with the one and only. He's definitely one of my homies, y'all. He's wearing a reversal nanny coat right now.
So you know something. Miles, you too much.
This is my nigga, the one and only Mr. Darren Brown, y'all.
What up, dog? Hey, man, I hear y'all talking about
Mixed fam. We talking about mixed family.
mixed families. Yeah, man, I'm actually,
You the king of that shit.
Shut the fuck up.
No, actually, we're talking about the package deal.
We talking about
The package deal.
The
Now, the
package deal.
second
Okay.
part of it was
It's a
we
mixed
were
family,
discussing about how to blend families.
Yeah.
After you do the dating process and now
Well, yeah,
you're
I might.
married.
You're right. I might be the king of that shit.
That's what you saying. I might be the king of that.
Like I might. I can't disagree.
So Darren, you got 3 boys, 1 girl.
I got 3 boys, 1 girl,
And the girl is the youngest.
and the girl is the youngest.
Y'all gonna catch hell fucking around with her 3 brothers. I swear to God, y'all gonna catch fucking hell.
Let me tell you, man. But you know what? I've been on both sides of the fence where I had 2 kids and another lady has 2 kids, and that right there is kind of a man. You really got to tread lightly with that because people have different lifestyles, and our kids want things. You know what I'm saying? So I remember a time where she had 2 kids, I had 2 kids. So my kids is used to the Jordans and the video games that come out today, come out and all this. Her kids wasn't. You know what I mean? So it was like I remember one time I had to come to a point in the realization that I can't sacrifice the things that I buy for my kids to make sure your kids have the same things. You know what I'm saying? Because she wasn't, in a financial position to buy all the things that my son had.
But was y'all raising them as brothers, or was you raising them as your 2 and her 2?
So we were just kind of in a relationship, bro. Like, year 2. So it was still your two kids because
Right.
you still had
They're still yours.
they still had a father. You know what I'm saying? Like they still had a daddy that they talked to.
Right.
So
Right.
I didn't feel the need to take on that
To
responsibility.
assert yourself and
Hell no. As a matter of fact, that ain't none of my business. Like when we go out and do movies and shit like that. Yeah, okay, I got it. But
I'm just lucky Darren married now, because in other words, I'd be like, hey, y'all, don't fuck with him.
no, and I'm gonna let him know up front. Don't fuck with me if you don't do it. I would let you know too.
I agree. Now that's something that I had wrote down in my notes.
Yeah.
Now everything that may have necessarily happen in your home may not work in the new home, right?
course,
So
of
that
course.
was one. So please speak to that, because whatever happened at 2438 Ellsworth may not happen at 5599 Hall Street,
Yeah,
right?
Detroit,
So
too. I
how
know
did
a lot
you
of
deal with
Detroit
that?
women.
You get what I'm saying?
That was one thing
That's one thing I wanted to address.
Yeah, so it wasn't number one going into it, man. Like, this is how I went into dating. You got kids. The things that I do for you, you don't have to do for yourself. You take that money and do for your kids. You know what I'm saying? That's the fair thing about it.
Gotcha.
I can't directly take care of your kids, especially if they have a father already. Nor am I coming in to replace anybody.
Right.
So you shouldn't expect that from me.
Yeah.
We just kicking it. You know
A
what I'm
lot of
saying?
women do.
I know.
A
like
lot
we,
of
we're
fucking
packaged.
women,
You
they
can't. You
looking
can't.
at too many Instagram memes.
You know what I'm saying? I understand. Now I'm gonna treat the respect, but the thing is, even going to a relationship, I don't have the ability to punish your children. I don't have the ability to.
Darren with an E. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. I don't have the ability.
This
put my name. Put my name.
spelled it out like I ain't talk.
So yeah. So, but you know what I'm saying? Like I don't have the privilege or the ability to make your kids or bring your kids up in the way that I was brought up, because you have a major say so in that too, and
Right.
we didn't start this together. So we don't have any. It's not a whole lot of compromises. It's not a whole bunch of agreements that going into it we say, well, you was raised like this, we was raised like this. Let's compromise on how we're gonna raise this child.
Right.
Shit, a lot of times they already almost raised.
Right.
So you just really coming in to either lend an ear or buy a couple outfits. You know what I'm saying? Be some financial help to the children when they want some gifts and stuff like that. Because to be honest, when I went into those relationships, I speak through the mother. I don't speak directly to the kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And especially if we're not in the same household. Because now if you're in the same household and you go into the same household prematurely, that just causes a whole nother issue, more issues.
Really,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you.
So you know, on that end, I was on that end. Now, my current situation, I brought two boys into a relationship with my wife.
Okay.
And my wife is, you know, by that time, my kids are good kids. So she was just like, yo, at first she was like, I don't talk to dudes with kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when she met my kids, she was like, yo, these kids is like good.
Like these
because
good
the thing
kids.
is, because the thing is, man, I never expected her to do anything for my kids. Like even to this day, even my daughter that we have together, I make sure that I clean up after her. Like I've always went into it because I never wanted anybody to feel like I got to take care of you and take care of your kids. It's like, no, you ain't got to do shit for my kids.
But one time I thought Darren was probably the husband or the father with the stinkiest hands, because at one point in time his daughter went eating shit.
Yeah.
He like, you want this?
Don't come goofy.
Yeah, no, you have to see it, man.
You
These
gotta see the
videos
video.
my daughter do.
They like, you want this? She just run. She just take off.
But it's definitely about it's definitely about it's definitely about compromise and just understanding how everybody is
He about the
raised.
psychedelic inside of Darren's nanny go.
Dog, you stupid as hell.
So,
Yeah, man. You know my man say you got to coordinate. You
so
got to coordinate.
Darren, I appreciate that, because this platform is, ladies, we're just trying to get you to understand a man's perspective of,
Bitch.
of the package deal, right? And it's not that
Why do
we're
y'all allow this guy to drink, bro? Like, why is this happening right now? Like,
so it's not that we're avoiding it, right? Not at all. We're not avoiding it at all. Just a little cooperation, right? Understanding, right? When we bringing this together. it's not a rare thing to meet someone at our age, and I think everybody at this table is probably 40 at least, or almost looking at that age, right?
You got more niggas here closer to 50 than you got 40.
Don is
I'm close to 40.
Don closer to 50 too.
I'm close to 40 because I don't know what you
No, Don is closer to you, like 40, right? You don't want to
no,
say.
he like
I just turned 39 yesterday, bro.
Oh, God damn.
Did you not?
Shout out to 39. Hey, Don.
That young?
Saturday after the premiere, that's my birthday.
Hey, Don.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know you were 30. You only 39.
Don, if I was 39 again,
man, shit.
I would like to hold on.
Hey, bro.
Put the camera on me for 1 second.
It's already on you.
I would like to tell people, no, it's not. I would like to tell people, I would like to reverse all the dick that I done dumped into you. That's it.
Next year I'm be 38. I'm just putting that out.
There we go.
Nigga, how's that possible?
So basically, what I was trying to say here is, ladies, you know, this platform is just to get a perspective from how men. We're not running from you, because some of these ladies are beautiful ladies. You know
First of all, we ain't giving no disclaimers, Chef.
So I'm going with this where I'm going with it, right?
Let's go, nigga, go.
Sound like an apology, Chef?
This is just
like a disclaimer.
This is how we feel about it, right?
All right.
So you need to understand this. If you are a single mom out here, this is how guys are feeling about it. Quite naturally, a lot of men do not want to take on a ready-made family. That's just truth about it.
Damn. First of all, we don't want no set aside, second-hand Birmingham pussy. We don't.
I'm gonna tell you, man. I mean, sometimes.
No, but what I'm saying, it's natural. I'm just saying.
Birmingham?
However, when you do approach a situation,
Birmingham pussy?
like you told me about the young lady, you say, "Well, he actually got some good kids."
Right.
So that's what you, and that part right there, that's what we're looking at, right? So it's just our perspective.
I mean, we have
I'm gonna say, man, ready-made families, and what women don't think is, man, because women look at it like, oh man, it's the love.
It's funny. It's funny if
when
you see,
niggas really the bills.
If you see love,
It's the fucking bills.
it's funny if you see love little head in the back of the chair. Yeah. That shit look funny as hell.
Damn, I'm sweating. Y'all got me in this motherfucker.
This motherfucker hot, man.
Man, damn, Mom, you got me in this motherfucker.
It's the building. First of all, motherfucker, you act like I got you here. Nigga, your office right next. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, so let me tell you something. Darren's one of the coolest niggas. Don's one of the coolest niggas. Chef is one of the coolest niggas. Joe is definitely one of the coolest niggas. He just don't give a fuck about certain shit.
Well, Joe got some skin in the game, bro. He professional at this shit.
Darren dancing Saturday, because I ain't even showed Darren this shit.
What?
I got motherfucking Darren on the dance floor dancing like a motherfucker. I didn't show him this shit. He's like, shit, where that shit is secret.
You got the video?
I got the motherfucking video.
Put it right in front of your camera.
So surprised when I do shit. Like,
when I saw this shit, I said, I gotta see this shit.
Was he matching with his clothes?
Oh, come on now, you know he was doing all of that.
It was nighttime.
But I'm just saying, like, he was going so hard, it was like, damn, this how you do there?
was I? Oh, I would probably drink like crazy too.
You know what
man.
I'm mad about Darren? Because they had an after party in this bitch right in this room, right? I didn't know shit about it until I watched the cameras. I was mad.
Yeah, man. OG Bobby Johnson was in this bug. Yeah,
shout out to Glenn Plummer. That nigga was cool. Me and him and Darren hung out and started for a few minutes, right? Mm-hmm. And then we got he was like, man, I like this nigga. He all right with me because I challenged his ass, and then I proved him motherfucking wrong. Glenn Plummer 818, goddamn it, Facebook, goddamn, I posted on Darren.
Yeah.
I said he was the first motherfucker to have a Tyler Perry wig, because he told me he ain't wear an afro. And then I proved him wrong because I took a screenshot of him on Medicine Society, like I said.
Mm-hmm. And he had a wig on?
He had I think he had like what's it called?
When he was teaching Kane how to shoot a gun.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I got Darren out here doing the book.
Yeah, I got Darren.
Before we show that video,
back to that.
What'd you say, Chef?
Before we show that video, so, just going around the table, starting with Darren.
Yeah.
Going around the table, we're talking about the package deal, right?
Right.
So, And one thing, one word, which you can give.
One word a sentence, Chef. Come on,
just one word. It could be patience.
Be like, fuck.
What advice can you? Because the thing was about men going into relationships with package deals. What one word could you give a man advice, or it can be a couple?
Okay,
right?
Cool.
About approaching the package deal, right?
Mm-hmm. About receiving the package, not giving the package.
Right, receiving it and something positive to make it work.
To make it work, something positive, man. I would say. Ooh, that's pretty hard, man, because there's so many goddamn words that.
Like fuck would be the first one.
That probably would be the first one, but I would say sensibility.
Okay, there you go.
Sensibility. You know what I mean?
Can I be next?
We going around.
Fuck. Okay, that reminds me. Fuck. The only reason why it would be fuck is because fuck is a word of being surprised. Because what the women have told you 9 times out of 10 is nothing what the male really is about.
Okay.
Because when you hear the male perspective, they be like, well, she ain't tell you that she kept my child away for 3 years. She ain't tell you that I ain't seen her in 3 months. So, in 3 months and 3 years, to where that's why I spoiled her so much.
That's hard to navigate through, man.
Yeah.
When there's so many package deals that deal with that baggage.
But the man.
So how do you deal with you going into a package deal?
I did everything I could to be in the first 3 to 4 years of all my children's life. The 27 that I actually raised, they loved me before I loved them because I showed them love in the beginning. I didn't show their mother love. I showed them love, and the reason why, because evidently if I was with her, she knew I loved her. You feel me?
The Blackman's Doubtfire here.
Yeah, yes, I was.
I wasn't prepared for that.
No, but I'm glad you said that because the reason why I was that because children need more guidance than the female that you would.
Yeah.
And the reason is because a lot of times a child that's in between two parents, they not getting the full love.
So let me tell you, man. I just want to say one thing, man. When I was going through my things with my children, man, one thing that I had to stress to their mothers is, do not hate me more than you love them.
There you go.
Good shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because
for sure.
that you have to.
That's poison.
Yeah, man. You can't hate me more than you love them because you destroy shit.
Yeah, because
for sure.
But that's anything. Like if you're not trying to get drunk, right? That's why you have mixed drinks, right? Mm-hmm. So you can have more coke than you do have whiskey, right? It's the same thing.
Well, that's a bad analogy because the more coke you put in, the faster
was
you
terrible.
gonna drink. So you probably gonna get drunk. Hey,
Derek, that's what we talked about.
That's the bad
I
example.
forgot the last time I was here because it's been weeks.
Yeah.
But don't make the child pay for
No, use
Yeah.
it.
our
situation.
mistakes.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's the same thing.
Or simply wear a condom. Listen.
Okay, so Miles, you said like one word. You didn't say much.
Miles said fuck with a whole bunch of other words.
Again, like I said, speaking from the clan that don't have no kids and shit, and dealing with a lot of single mamas and packages and shit.
Oh yeah.
My thing is this, dog. Just really, I think to put this into a couple words or 3 words, I think. Oh yeah, that's what it is. Evaluate. No, for real. Evaluate your expectations. Like you gotta know, you gotta set your expectations to what you want them to be, and then like still really stand by those. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, like you go in with expectations of certain things, and you got these women with kids and sometimes multiple baby fathers. Which I've dealt with some with one baby father, one with multiple. A few with multiple actually. And like you just have to. You have to gauge your. You have to gauge your expectations. I mean, that's really just what it is. Because otherwise, you'll go in thinking that it's about to be something else, and it ain't. And again, I want to thank y'all because y'all changed my perspective on this. Darren, you wasn't here.
Okay.
Earlier, but I was talking about how I dealt with a lot of single mamas, and they got baby daddies, and I always felt like it was weird that a lot of baby daddies was kind of standoffish, like they didn't really introduce themselves or like communicate with me and shit. I felt like that was like a sign of weakness. So I started looking at some of these perspectives, and it was kind of like dudes be more concerned about what's going on with their kids and shit, and that relationship with the new dude will eventually come to play. I looked at it a different way, so now I got a different perspective.
And nowadays, it ain't just a new dude; it's a new broad too.
Yeah, facts. That shit. Got two fathers in this motherfucker. So I said, dog, evaluate your expectations. That's what I
These
say.
bitches' shoulders is broader than ours.
You're right. My mouth is going in. Don't mind. At night, don't even.
Give me this nigga cup, bro.
Broad shoulder, motherfucking.
Broad shoulder, James
Linebacker ass.
linebacker ass bitch. So chef, as going into a mixed family, how did you manage to keep things at a balanced pace?
I didn't.
Oh damn! All right.
You know,
Thank y'all for coming out, guys.
I had my understanding on how I felt things would go.
Right.
Okay.
But life took them another direction because a lot of things were not disclosed; they were hidden.
Of course, yeah.
So I had an ideal how I wanted things to go, right? But because things weren't actually laid out on the table and were honest, that was out of the window.
And the plus
right?
is because it's never just between
Right.
you and her. It's always
it's
between
never,
somebody
right?
else.
So what I had to do was I had to pay attention and really acknowledge the disappointments that were there prior to me.
Yeah.
Right. So I had to look at, because that's what I had to deal with, because I was that guy that had to deal with all the disappointments prior, because I'm still that man, right? So a man placed in those disappointments. So I walked in and they were, even though I had nothing to do with them,
Right.
some sort of way they were
You're
my
accountable for 'em, yeah.
Absolutely.
But that's just fucked up when, you know what, man? And it makes me think. That's fucked up when you got to put a puzzle together, man, and you don't know what the picture look like.
Facts.
Oh God!
Like that's
He all scholarship and shit.
that right there. That right
all
there.
slurred and
I mean,
shit, trying to get
if I gave you fucking just puzzle pieces and was like, here, man, you don't get to see the top of the box or nothing. You just got to put this shit together. That's
You don't even know what you're
frustrating.
putting together.
No,
Yeah.
but
You
you're
don't even know if you got all the
right.
goddamn pieces.
So what happens is,
Because you don't know what you're building.
Yeah.
so what I would have to say is, just pay attention to the disappointments, because you have to figure out the mom you're dating, and then the disappointments that the children are bringing on. They're part of the package deal, right? And you can't avoid it.
And in order to control it, you have to just submerge yourself in the whole situation wholeheartedly.
And I did.
And when and sometimes when that happens, yeah, you can control it. But then when it goes out of control, you like, I don't know what to do or how to do this.
From
you know
a
what I
man
mean?
perspective, right?
Yeah, from a man perspective.
Because women, they think like, why you ain't handling it?
Right.
They always take responsibility.
They think the responsibility lies on the male. In reality, the woman should hold more accountability on the behalf.
We know that shit ain't
Well,
right.
no. But there are some women. Shout out to Tamika. Tamika Jackson.
Oh yeah, Tamika Jackson. She was checking in earlier. Shout out to Tamika.
She was so dope. I liked her demeanor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She came in at first like, but she really started saying, speaking the truth. And I think that's the problem with most men. They don't want to deal with the truth that they did pick the wrong person to have a child by.
Damn.
I agree 100%.
They got to realize they didn't pick the right woman to have a child by. And at the same time, we overthought what we could handle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because a lot of times men be like, I can handle it, right?
Yeah, we throw away a lot of red flags. We throw away a lot of red flags to get some pussy.
So if I had to say, what I would like to say that out to the man, pay attention to the disappointments that were there before you, because that's what you're going to have to deal with.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
On that note, y'all,
you forgot Don though.
No, I'm about to, hold on.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
No.
We know
Don
you
about
drinking.
to speak his piece because that nigga been thinking. He been in quiet, profound thought.
Sparks going.
But you know what? It's gonna be short. It's gonna be short and concise and to the point, though.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
because
He
he's
got
down.
it, nigga. He played it in his head. You know how to deliver it. He got
He's
it.
been down there thinking.
And he got it. Watch this. We about to blow all that shit
Hold
going
on. but before we let Don,
You about to give me another life's mantra right now.
give us the mind blowing solution and conclusion of what's going on. I had to thank everybody who paid attention to us today, who paid attention to us every single Tuesday on podcasting. Even though we said we come on 9, we come on 9-ish.
And tonight was lit. The numbers was high as hell.
The number was high as fuck.
No, it was good tonight.
It was
Damn, I
very
missed
good
it.
tonight.
Hopefully they invite
I'd
me
like to
back
thank
again.
Darren. I would like to thank Darren and Calvin for coming in and putting 2 cents in. I'd like to thank motherfucking chef for coming in and not bringing no fucking food today.
The food is coming.
The food is coming. But I want to end it right now with the man who said, as long as you don't fuck over my money, we good. To all you bitches. If you don't
remember every line of that motherfucker.
He does, man. And you know what?
and that's what he said. As long as you don't fuck with my money. And Don did hit a bitch in the movie. I'm not gonna lie. It was out called. He wasn't Mr. Smack a bitch. He was knock a bitch out in the movie. Don, check it out. It's coming soon to be on streaming. Cause Don, would you like to close out?
Hold on, wait a minute. Before Don say anything, man, do we know how to remember the Saturday Night Live thing when it be like Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy?
I got that one. That's
That's gonna start being your whole shit.
Deep
Yeah.
Thoughts.
Because Don let everybody he listens.
When he talk, you gotta listen, bro.
Cause he be listening.
Don be
And then he
listening,
put it on the
and
course.
he's very precise with his execution on how he delivers his words.
Facts.
And again, Don, I'd like to thank you for putting me on my. I think he even noticed that I've been a little bit more hyper, and I can walk properly. I don't walk like I'm 78. I walk like I'm 48, but it's a 30-year difference. He's still dressed like he's 62, but that's cool. We're gonna work with that.
Oh man, he's still gonna be an ugly motherfucker, but I appreciate you getting his help
No matter
together.
what I do, thank you. So to my light
Can't do nothing with that face, but we can work on everything else.
So to fuck him. So to my light skinned brother from another mother, Don, we turn it over to you, bro. What you have to end it with?
You know, honestly, us having this conversation, it kind of put me in the mind frame of, unfortunately, this conversation was just a little lopsided. And what I mean by that is, I think it's a pandemic, epidemic. You know, single mothers that do not have, active fathers in their children's life, it has a domino effect on just a lot of us, on them, on the men they try to date, and on their children at the end of the day. And I say all that to say this: I believe that when you start making change, you got to start just from the top down. And I think as men, a lot of that, like you said earlier, Miles, it just kind of fall on us in terms of what decisions that we making. We can't really. I think that when we really start looking at the decisions that we make at the end of the day, we can start that process of just creating a lot of different change. You know what I'm saying? And similar to kind of what you were saying there earlier, some dudes out there, they throw away the red flags, maybe because she cute, maybe because she, nowadays is, dudes be more concerned with dating a chick with high Instagram numbers than her personality, or they care more about if she a baddie than if she treat her children like shit. You understand what I'm saying? And it's just real talk. They care more about if she could find a babysitter because maybe she got some good ass, you know what I'm saying, than anything else. It's a little sad, you understand what I'm saying? But again, I just think as men, the burden is placed on us to, take the headship for what it is, And I think that when I say this conversation was lopsided, Chef, you actually said it, it's like a lot of us walk into those kind of relationships, all right? But what about those that are given those relationships? So I think that maybe, it kind of go both ways. Right. But I say all that to say this, that I think that honest communication is, to me, probably sum up, how to handle these situations.
Absolutely.
Because I think it's important to know if I'm dating a woman that have children, and her kid's father paying the bills at the house she living in.
Right.
Say that shit.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I don't need no confusion in my life or getting into it with another motherfucker because he feel like he has some ownership over you and what you got going on in your situation. Yeah. If you and I are dating and maybe, you know what I'm saying, you haven't fully put closure to your relationship, say that shit. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? I think a lot of women oftentimes ask us for honesty, but the truth of the matter is they really can't give it. I hear so many women say, I can handle a man if he just be honest, and I can respect that. Reciprocate that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Stop putting that shit on us and then using it as an excuse to lie to us and be like, well,
we do.
I was going to be honest, but you didn't, I was waiting for you to be honest first. Man, fuck all of that. Like, be honest. Yeah.
It's
We're going to continue this one.
No. Chef, you had something in the what?
No, I don't. He don't even want.
Hey, y'all, but listen.
They don't want that smoke.
Don, tell us where they can find you at.
Don _Snipes. All platforms.
Chef, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Facebook, Fred Wilson, or you can Instagram for Fred Wilson 1183. That's my chef page. Check me out. I'm cooking it up.
I don't know what the hell you just said. I got my headphones on. Q, where can they find you at?
Yo, check me out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, man. eblockradio.com. Shout out to my niggas, Monk Money and Angry Man.
Angry Man.
Wake and Bake Show every Tuesday and Thursday right here on podcast. It's on the Rise and Grind Morning Show.
Wake
Tuesday
and Bake
nights.
Show on the Rise and Grind Morning Show.
I said every Tuesday and Thursday. On the Rise and Grind Show.
I know you said on the Wake and Bake.
I said Wake and Bake earlier.
Okay.
Nigga, damn.
Okay.
Put your drink down.
This nigga sleepy.
Yes, evidently. Tuesday nights right here on Girth. And then check me out on the gram, man. Q.Lewis313, man. You already know what it is, man. It's your boy Q Lewis holding it down live from the 4205, man. Red Zone, baby.
Bang, bang, bang.
Gang, bitch. I said bitch loosely. Darren, can you tell me where they can find you at?
You can find me at Darren Brown Films on IG.
And
serious?
He had a new farm called the Goat Killer. When we make jackets and inserts,
Nine
bitches.
tails.
Nine tails.
So, when's the premiere of this movie?
Oh, man, it was last Friday.
Oh, it was last Friday.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
it'll be out on Tubi. Hopefully in a couple of weeks, man. Just waiting for my
We think
distributor.
about having another.
Yeah, I'll probably do something up here, man. And don't bring y'all baby daddies up in this motherfucker.
No,
Beat them
no.
up. Don, we gonna get Don to beat their ass.
Don't put all that ass.
I'm going to give a motherfucker a hug. He might start crying.
That's all that.
We know who she is, man. You're welcome.
Come on.
Safe space. Safe space. That nigga Don say safe space.
Oh my god. Shit, what the fuck is that?
Mind your business, nigga. Mind your business.
I like that drink. Listen, so if y'all want to mind your business drink, come on down. Sit down. No, listen, I appreciate it for y'all tuning in to Girth every Tuesday night around 9ish o'clock. And if you can wake your grandmother and your punk ass kids up right now because we done.
Let the niggas stay asleep. It's down at midnight.
Yeah, fuck them kids. Wake your grandmama. She'll take the garbage out. Listen, and we like to say thank you for Joe for being our engineer for the night.
Shout out to my nigga Joe, man.
If Joe would just be drinking and laughing through the whole engineering shit, it'd be funny as fuck. I thank y'all. I thank y'all for giving us your point of view, your perspectives. Comment on our Facebook page. Until next time, we see y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.